So here is a Zara haul that I did. Now, I've never, ever, ever bought a perfume from Zara. Reason being, firstly, I hate their website. It's laid out in such an annoying way that I have to basically search Google if I want to find the perfume I'm looking for, because they don't just put everything together under one name. It's like it's all over the place. It's completely confusing. I absolutely genuinely hate the Zara website. So if you add in the fact that I also hate shopping in Zara, the actual shop, because although there are quite a few down Oxford Street near where I work, they have the perfumes right in the inside the queue for the till. So it's like such a difficult place to smell anything. They often don't have things in stock in the actual store. Generally speaking, I just don't bother with Zara. However, I hear people talking about them all the time. Obviously, the perfumes are pretty cheap, so I was like, look, I'm just going to bite the bullet and I'm going to buy some things that I know are supposed to be dupes for very expensive perfumes. So if we start with this one, this is Rose Gourmand. Now, look, I don't really like rose and vanilla together, generally speaking, so everyone might think that I'm insane, but I'm still always interested to know kind of the basic profile of things so that I can recognise it in other perfumes that I might buy, you know. So this is Rose Gourmand. This is just a little, five or 10 ml. This is a 10 ml rollerball. I think these are about £4.99, so they're pretty cheap, generally speaking. And this guy here, I thought it was a Mancera dupe. So if I find... So Rose Gourmand, let's see. The Fragrantica listings for these are pretty basic and they don't seem to include many notes. And also, some of the stuff on the Zara website is hilarious. So, Zara Rose Gourmand EDP. So, this is spicy notes of carnation, the luminous radiance of jasmine, the ethereal tenderness of peony. It's all there to adorn and enhance a rose with modern freshness and strong character. Innocence, purity, symbolises and encourages the unstoppable wave of feminine empowerment. It's actually making me feel like I might be sick in my own mouth. Bringing the pure delight that every woman deserves. Soft, delicious, creamy caramel, gourmand notes blend with a lively and regressive flavour of vanilla. Mad. Reaffirming in a trail of musky amber and the power of rose. Oh my goodness, what a load of waffle. Because this is just incredibly sweet vanilla and rose. I mean, it doesn't smell particularly... From the actual rollerball, a lot of rose, and not hugely far off my the rose and vanilla buds, the rose buds and vanilla, sorry, that I've got from the Vera Wang Embrace range, but this one on your skin, it gets incredibly sweet, way too sweet for me. The vanilla's too strong for me, as I sort of knew it would be, but I wanted to know what this smells like. And honestly, it just smells like a very intense version of my Embrace rose and vanilla buds, because it also, there's a slight, it's not really fruity, but there is a kind of freshness from this as well, so it's not like old school potpourri kind of rose, you know. So this one is compared to Rose's Vanille by Mancera, which is top notes of lemon, water notes, rose, sugar, vanilla. Oh my god, hang on, sorry. Top notes of lemon and water, middle notes rose and sugar, base notes vanilla, sugar, white musk and cedar. So I would say that those notes kind of make more sense for what this perfume smells like than the actual notes that Zara have for their own Rose Gourmand. So I can imagine this does smell quite like this Mancera one. But what I was kind of blown away by is it's also compared almost as much to Intense Cafe from Montal, which is floral notes, rose, coffee, vanilla, white musk and amber. And I'm like, okay, I was not expecting that. So anyway, Now, I have something very specific to say about the Zara perfumes, which is all of the ones I've smelt that have wood in them they all smell very synthetic and unpleasant to me. So it's a very similar kind of woody smell that I got with Jessica Simpson's the lemon one, Vintage Bloom. Now that is a perfume that's supposed to have sandalwood in it, but to me it just smelt so. It wasn't really pencil shavings, not specifically that, but it's very. I found it very unpleasant. I found it a very unpleasant wood. Now this one, that smell didn't come through till way later, so not till the very deep dry down did I start getting a kind of plasticky, and someone's actually said from some other perfumes from Zara, like a burning rubber style kind of woody smell. And that's what I get from this in the very deep dry down. But for most of the time, that's not what it was. Most of the time, it was just a hint of rose and a lot of vanilla. So, you know, this one was never going to be for me, full stop, but I just wanted to know what it smelled like. And it is interesting because, yeah, I think I'm going to recognise now if I smell other things that are a bit like those quite expensive perfumes. So that's Rose Gourmand. And then I also got a little one of Red Temptation. So the ones that I was quite sure that I didn't need, wouldn't want, and I wouldn't want a big bottle of, I tried to get these little ones, but they weren't available of everything. Really kind of random availability for a lot of these Zara perfumes in the size that you can get, you know. So this is Red Temptation, and this is the Baccarat Rouge dupe. And yeah, instantly recognisable as the Baccarat Rouge. But again, this one, I know it's supposed to be kind of spicy and resinous as the real Baccarat is, which I smelt recently in John Lewis, but Red Temptation has that burning rubber smell almost immediately. I can kind of smell it in the actual bottle, and then when it was on my skin it became unbearable, like absolutely horrible. So again, the notes in Red Temptation, there's far more on the actual Zara website than there is on Fragrantica. So again, this is very over the top and amusing and ridiculous. Eau de Parfum disguised as the warm and textured facets of beautiful saffron and coriander spices. Bitter orange lends a fruity and colourful touch to the luminous floral bouquet. Luminosity of jasmine reveals all the sensuality and femininity of white flowers, enhanced by praline, a modern and ultra-addictive accord. The flowers are highlighted by the power of moss and woody amber notes, enveloped in a cloud of musk, leaving a trail of complete femininity. Blah, blah, blah. Now Baccarat Rouge, the only notes they've got in Baccarat Rouge on Fragrantica is saffron, jasmine in the top notes, middle notes amberwood and ambergris, base notes fir resin and cedar. But, you know, anyone who knows what Baccarat smells like, there's no way that's the full set of notes because it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And it definitely, I'm sure there's some fruits in there. So anyway, this one, this was the worst scrubber of all of them. And not because the actual scent profile is obviously nice. And to be honest, a more medicinal version of the kind of Baccarat and Cloud, and for me the Guess Seductive Red, like a more medicinal version of that I would have been down with. I would have been happy to wear it. But full plastic, fake, synthetic, cloying, horrible, burnt rubber wood. And oh God, the more it dried down, because this was, I mean, how long did this one I really had to try and scrub off. So this one lasted quite long. It was relatively strong. I don't think it would be anything compared to Baccarat, and probably nothing compared to Cloud. But it certainly lasted longer than like my Seductive Red would have, and it's probably a bit stronger because I didn't put much on and it was really noticeable. But again, you know, sometimes that's just because you hate something so much that it's like, oh God. Because yeah, the actual general profile of this is really nice, but that same note that I get in the base of Rose Gourmand. Oh, no, thank you. So, nope, no. I didn't like that one. Oh, yeah, okay. So, let's look at... let's go for, if I can find my little noties. Let's see. Go Fruity. So, I got a little thing of Go Fruity. Either I couldn't get it in a little one, or I needed to spend a certain amount of money to get free delivery. So I got a little 30ml of this. I think it might have been because I wanted free delivery. So this is yet another apparent sort of Baccarat Rouge dupe, because it's supposed to be the Burberry. Is it Burberry Her? It's supposed to be a dupe for Burberry Her, and I think, if you can even see the writing, it's very, very pale writing there. It says Go Fruity. So obviously Burberry Her is already supposed to smell quite a lot like Baccarat Rouge, but kind of like a strawberry version. So on the Zara website it says about this one: a fragrance that provides a sparkling femininity through a duo of delicious fruits where peach and apple blend with a sublime bouquet of rose, iris and iris flowers. Notes of vanilla lend us the touch of sensuality, making the fragrance irresistible. So yeah, Burberry Her. What are the notes for Burberry Her? Good question. I'm going to get them up now. This... how do I say it without sounding a bit rude? This smells quite basic to me. It smells like quite a basic version of that scent profile. Maybe it's fair to say it smells like a cheap version of that profile, which I don't know whether the Burberry one smells cheap. I doubt that it smells quite as cheap as this one does. And excuse me, I think that's probably because of the apple in it. I think the apple smells quite synthetic, and then you sort of, it's like, yeah, you've got quite a lot of apple in the top. It kind of starts to smell a bit more like strawberry, even though it doesn't list that in the notes, like the more it dries down. But it doesn't, it's light and it's cute, and you know, this I think smells like a very young lady's perfume that would be really nice. It would make a really nice gift for like a teenager. But for me, it just is a bit kind of meh, because, you know, it's not got the ridiculously sweet and strong kind of vibe of Cloud. It's not got the kind of interesting medicinal vibe of Baccarat Rouge, but it's also not kind of sweet and sexy Guess Seductive Red, but it sort of has the same profile as all three of those perfumes, but it's lighter and it's a bit more appley, and yeah, I'm not crazy for it. So the Burberry Her, the notes there are, oh, there's a lot of notes in this. The top notes are strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, sour cherry, blackcurrant, mandarin orange, lemon. Middle notes violet and jasmine. Base notes musk, vanilla, cashmere, and woody notes oak, moss, amber, and patchouli. So I would not have guessed that there was patchouli in that perfume. Yeah, so Go Fruity, I think it's nice enough, but I could very happily live without it. One of the things I do like about this, though, is it has, by the looks of it, a reusable bottle. It looks like you can unscrew the top and then you can reuse the bottle, you can refill it, which I think is brilliant. I really like that. I've not really seen that on, none of the other perfumes seem to have that, but yeah, I can totally unscrew it. So that is a really, and I really like the bottle, to be honest. I like how heavy the bottle is. I like the shape at the bottom. So maybe I'll try and wear this when it's warmer weather, you know. So I might actually keep hold of this one and just see how I feel about it when it's not so cold, because I'm already wearing, you know, my Baccarat Rouge style perfume, which is the Guess Seductive Red, and that one's very, very sweet and kind of more creamy, you know, because it's got the almond in it. So what else did I get? Oh yeah, all right. So I was a bit bummed out about this because I had to get I couldn't get it on its own, if you see what I mean. Like, and now I just went to look at the website and they've got it again in a 30ml. but they didn't have a 30ml when I got this. Now this is the same kind of bottle, but you can't unscrew it, so that's a bit of a shame. Okay, this is Zara Fields at Nightfall, and you can see this is 100ml, so I could only get this one with well, I could get it as 100ml on its own, and it was $17.99. But if I got it with Nude Bouquet, which is the next one coming up, then I could get 200ml bottles or 2 different perfumes for $19.99. So obviously that's what I'm going to do, right? So now, Fields at Nightfall is the reason in the first place that I wanted to try Zara perfumes. That is because Fields at Nightfall is supposed to be a dupe of what's it called? Let me just find it. This is Her by Zadig. Oh, God's sake. Zadig and Voltaire. So I really wanted to know what that smells like. I've never seen it in store. I've never been able to test it. And I don't want to buy it partly because of the jasmine. And partly because I've seen some people kind of describe it in such different ways. And some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people say there's a real metallic musk in it. Some people are like it's super, super woody. Some people just say it's just creamy. Some people say it's just chestnutty. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll smell the dupe of it and see how I feel about that. Now, Zara Fields at Nightfall Eau de Parfum. It says it's a resinous eau de parfum including praline, jasmine and sandalwood notes, an elegant and feminine fragrance. Now, the Zadig and Voltaire, this is Her, the top notes there are pink pepper, silkwood blossom, jasmine sambac, middle notes of whipped cream, vanilla and chestnut, base notes sandalwood and cashmere wood. So this is such a disappointment because this also has that foul, synthetic smelling, woody hell smell that I got right at the top of Red Temptation and right in the base of Rose Gourmand. And then this one, I can kind of sense it now. As soon as I smell it, once I noticed it, it's there always. But at first I sprayed it and I was like, okay, that's it. Is it interesting? I don't know. It's not what I was expecting it to smell like. And then it just got increasingly unbearable because of that same smell. Horrible. I don't know what it is, but it's in a lot of perfumes and I despise it. But one of the things that's weird about this, when I just smell it from the, just sniff it on this bit, just give it a whiff here, and I don't spray it, it really smells similar to 2 perfumes that I have, but one in particular, which is my 4711 Aqua Colonia Starfruit and White Flowers. It has a profile that's so similar to that, which in kind of like a wider context, also a little bit is a similar profile to what I get with my Guess Dare perfume that I love. And that one, that has like a kind of juicy, kind of unusual smelling watery tropical fruit with a very soapy musk and white flowers. There's definitely jasmine in both of those perfumes, but they're mixed with other florals that kind of give it, it's just this lovely general kind of spring bouquet kind of smell. And this one just smells like that when I sniff it from the bottle, but slightly sweeter, but very similar to the smell of my white flowers, my Starfruit and White Flowers, like so similar. And then when I spray it on, it gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and more creamy, and you kind of get that vibe, that you should, I guess, with This Is Her, which is you get a kind of, does it smell nutty? The thing is, it's hard to say if this smells nutty just because that kind of horrible burning rubber wood smell just takes over everything after a while, which is a bit of a shame, because I think I would like this perfume if it didn't have that, because it would just be like a very sweet and creamy version of a perfume that I already love. But it just, yeah, this is not staying. I don't like this one, so this one I will have to pass on. And it like with all well, not all three of them, because Rose Gourmand's too vanilla-y for me generally, which I knew it would be. But with Red Temptation and Fields at Nightfall, both of them are unwearable to me because of that weird burnt rubbery wood smell, which is a real shame, because, like, you know, I definitely could have worn both of those if it wasn't for that. So the thing that it came with was Nude Bouquet. Nah, I don't like this one. So I mean, is it a surprise? Is it a surprise? Probably not. I will have to try to make some space for some of this. I'm trying really hard not to knock these down the back of my dresser. So Fields at Nightfall can just live there for now, looking all weird and dark and grumpy. So Nude Bouquet, it's been such a long time since I've smelt what this is apparently a dupe of. And let me just find it. I can see from the notes there. Misty or Blooming Bouquet. So I did have a little mini, a little kind of carded sample of Blooming Bouquet, because it's one of those things that everyone told me that I should smell because it's so delicious, and I was not impressed at all. I was like, meh. I was like, this is just fruity. It's like, it's sort of floral, but it's really fruity. It's boring. I just wasn't keen on that one. That's my memories of it either. I haven't really liked, I don't like any of the Misty Ors. I've never smelt a Misty Or that I think is very nice. So that's my thing. If you like Misty Or, obviously, I imagine you'd quite like this. It's a fruity floral, but it's one that I find sickly. I just find it sickly, and yeah, I don't particularly like the smell from here. On my skin, even more sickly. It's something to do with the fruits in it. So Misty or Blooming Bouquet is marked down as having top notes of Sicilian mandarin, pink peony, damask rose, apricot, peach and white musk. The Nude Bouquet is marked down as having cherry, peony and vanilla. So again, like, sometimes Zara are really non-specific with their notes, and they don't, I would never think that this was peony, vanilla and cherry. That's not like the notes that I would smell. It smells like the notes that are listed for Blooming Bouquet, and I just don't like it. I can't deal with it. And again, I shouldn't be too surprised about that, because it's peach and rose, which is not something that I like. But obviously I thought it was going to be cherry. I didn't actually think it would be exactly the same, but I'm just trying to think if it reminds me of Ghost, because Ghost is something that disgusted me because of the peach and vanilla and rose. No. It's much fresher, and I have to say, when I spray it, it smells much nicer than it does from the bottle. But that's because I think the dry down of this is the bit that really, really bothers me. It's nice and fresh in the air. It's just a kind of slightly fruity floral smell, but it gets sweeter and sweeter. And I feel like the fruits get more and more kind of syrupy and cloying, because there is that sharpness with that vanilla. Like, yeah, no, it's just not for me. But it is quite musky, this one. I'm surprised by how musky this is. Yeah, it's super musky. So it's not my kind of thing, but it's not like foul to me, you know. It's just not my kind of thing. I can imagine that a lot of people would like this. I'm just a fusspot, aren't I? I'm just a total fusspot. So last but not least, Rose Gourmand. So this is a cool bottle. Woo! Oh, it's got my it's ruined the effect. Let's do that again. Anyway, Rose Marshmallow Candy. I called it Rose Gourmand, which is obviously wrong. It's Rose Marshmallow Candy. And this is an eau de toilette. I've only just noticed. I think everything else is an eau de parfum. Oh my goodness, this is weird. Alright, so they don't actually have stickers on the bottom. It's some kind of sort of printed directly onto glass, and I rubbed my finger across it and half of it came off. So, yeah, weird. Alright. Yeah, eau de parfum. Yeah, they're all eau de parfums, except for Rose Marshmallow Candy. And I guess that's because this is from Zara Emotions, and I think this one is supposed to be for children, which I find strange. I mean, maybe not because it's so sweet, but I don't think I'd be too keen on a kid that had this kind of smell. It's a bit much. Yeah, weird. And also, I'm pretty sure that this is the perfume that's based on the one that Rihanna wears, and she's a very, very sexy woman, so I'm not sure I'd be like thinking this was a good thing for children. But anyway, inside of this is just another bit of ridiculous marketing rubbish. It says rolling on the grass, bouncing on a trampoline, dancing away, jeweled flip-flops, gingham shorts, little straw baskets, bright colours, sun in the sky, long lazy summer day. I'm literally falling asleep because it's so stupid. But this is our emotion, so this is a Jo Malone one. And Jo Malone CBE, for the creation created by Jo Love, said about this one, it's like bouncing on a trampoline of roses and happiness. And is it? Nah. It's alright. So this one, I think it's supposed to be Killian Love Don't Be Shy, or at least everyone says it smells like Killian Love Don't Be Shy. And Killian Love Don't Be Shy, firstly I was a bit confused because there's so many different versions, and on Fragrantica they're just called Love, but I'm guessing it's the original in the kind of pinky bottle. So the notes of that are, there's so many notes: neroli, bergamot, pink pepper, coriander. Middle notes: orange blossom, jasmine, honeysuckle, rose, iris. Base notes: sugar, vanilla, caramel, musk, civet, labdanum. And I just it's possible it's a different version and it's different notes, but the only notes listed for Rose Marshmallow Candy are vanilla, marshmallow and blood orange. And I'm very sad to say that I don't get any blood orange, because I was quite excited about this one. And I don't... no, I would... even if I thought there was something sort of fruity in here, I would never guess that it was any family of orange, or probably not even citrus. It's just straight up marshmallows. It would be like a vanilla scented marshmallow, if you see what I mean. I've got it on my arm. It's just so sickly, like it's crazy sickly. And again, like it's really interesting when I smell things like this, because I feel like I sometimes come across reviews on Fragrantica of things that I really like, and people are just like, oh my god, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. It's disgusting. It's cloyingly sweet. And I'm just like, wow, okay. And then I go and smell things that are really popular, and they are so sweet. Like some of the sweetest things I've ever smelled. Like actually smell sweeter than an actual smell of a marshmallow. Marshmallow. But if you like sweet perfumes, this one's actually nice. Like this is the thing. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to wear this, because I think it is so intensely sweet that it's sort of, it's partially a bit sickly to me, but also I don't think I want to smell like this. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not because it's not a nice perfume. I think I don't think this would suit me. And I don't think I suit it. But of all of these, I think it's the nicest one. And I can't remember how much this cost, but it wasn't crazy expensive. I think it was maybe like about 15 quid. And to be fair, like you can only get these now on the UK site in, so it's an eau de toilette, and I think it's 50ml. Let me look at the box. Oh, it's a 40ml. So you can only get it in 40ml. But it's very, very sweet. It's exceptionally girly. It just smells like a vanilla marshmallow. And I don't really get anything else with this. I'm not sensing. Nope, it's just like it's sort of powdery. It's very much like one of the posh marshmallows, you know, where you get all of the, you know, almost like with Turkish Delight, where they put all of the powdered sugar all over it. We'd call that icing sugar, or like confectioner's sugar, all over the actual marshmallow to stop them sticking together. Unlike the, you know, the cheap ones that you buy, this one is so sugary. It is like, yeah, a vanilla flavoured marshmallow with powdered sugar all over it. That's how sweet it is. I think the only thing I've ever smelt that is sweeter than this is the sort of deep dry down of cloud, which just smells like granulated sugar to me. Like there's nothing else going on. Whereas this one smells, it's very sugary, but there is that kind of like glycerin sweetness to it that you get with marshmallows. So yeah, it's I think this is the nicest one in a way. This one I'm sure loads of people like. It's just not my kind of thing. These can all do one because it's such a shame about that horrible thingy. This one is like super safe, like safe in a way that I find a bit boring. But this one I think is the most interesting in a way, because I don't feel like I've smelt something. When you smell it from the bottle, it smells like lots of things. It has a profile about it that I was like, oh, that's not going to be particularly interesting, but it does smell different when you spray it. It's yeah, it's just a marshmallow. It's literally a marshmallow, and I don't really get a sense of rose, so I'm not sure why it's called rose marshmallow. It doesn't smell like rose to me. But yeah, it's almost a shame, because I'll tell you what, if this did have a rose smell in it, I wonder whether this would be a Turkish Delight style smell. But I guess if it's trying to smell like a different perfume, then you wouldn't want that. But anyway, this has been an interesting little kind of exploration into Zara perfumes. I don't think I want to wear particularly any of these. I might keep Go Fruity purely because it's got a cute bottle that I'd be able to reuse if I do actually use it up. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I'm not crazy about any of these. I think my little Zara exploration is finished now. I think I did this and I spent, you know, however much money this cost, and I probably don't need to do it again. Yeah, I just yeah, they're all right. I think I've got perfumes that are cheaper than this from actual kind of low key designer brands, or kind of, you know, actual non, like, you know, clothes shop brands, if you see what I mean. And I think they're better. I think they're all better, more interesting. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not mad for them, but I don't know if this was informative in any way. It's maybe a slightly negative review, but they're just not really my jam. And I thought that might be the case with Zara perfumes, which is why it's taken me so long to order any. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you know that things aren't going to be for you, and you still get them anyway because you're making videos for YouTube. And so, you know, it's weird if you're doing budget stuff to never try Zara, but I think I'm done. I think that's enough. I think I've tried Zara and that is it. So yeah, please tell me what you think about these in the comments, and let me know if everyone else gets the weird burnt rubber from some of these perfumes, and just generally, because it just like, I can't deal with it. It might be my skin chemistry, but on some of them I swear I can smell it in the bottle, so I don't know.